Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Accountant's Journal. This is Cesar and in this video, pag-uusapan po natin ang adjusting journal entries. Okay, so ano po ba ang adjusting journal entries? Ito po yung mga journal entries na ginagawa natin sa dulo po ng taon to correct some items of revenue and expenses and assets and liabilities. Or kung meron pa po tayong mga kailangang i-adjust. But normally, ito pong apat yung madalas ina-adjust natin sa dulo po ng taon. Okay? Kung maaalala nyo po ang pinag-usapan natin sa deferrals and accruals concept, sometimes ang revenue at ang expense ay nadi-defer or nade-delay, and sometimes na-accrue or na-advance na nagre-resulta sa either assets or liabilities. So, depende. Okay? So, ano nga po ulit yun? Yung pong ating mga collections and payment. Ngayon, kung hindi mo pa siya napapanood, I suggest panoorin mo muna siya bago mo tapusin itong video na to para mas madali mong maintindihan yung pag-uusapan natin ngayon. Okay? Pero para mas malinaw, bigyan ko po kayo ng simple illustration kung paano nga ba ginagawa ang adjusting journal entries. So, let's say for example, ang inyo pong accounting period covers January until December. Or calendar year. Kasi di po ba yan ang calendar year? Nagsisimula ng January, nagtatapos ng December. Teka lang, so straight natin ito para mas maganda. Okay, so sana straight na, no? So, nagtatapos po yan ng December. At ang December o ang inyo pong year-end ay yan po ang nagsisilbing reporting date. Okay? Now, kung meron po kayong collection or payment na ang coverage ay from January to December only, yung pong inyong collection at payment will simply become revenues and expenses. Ganun lang pong kasimple. Meaning, at the end of the year, wala po kayong kailangang i-adjust. However, kung meron po kayong mga items ng revenue and expenses na let's say for example, na delay or na defer o kaya naman ay na-accrue or na-advance, malamang sa malamang, meron po kayong kailangan gawin sa inyo pong year-end or your reporting date. Okay, so napakahalaga po niyang malaman. Halimbawa po, nagkaroon po kayo ng isang transaction that will cover one full year. However, hindi po siya nangyari noong January. So, halimbawa, nangyari po siya somewhere in the middle. Let's say, for example, nangyari siya noong July. Okay? So, syempre, kung nangyari yan noong July, and it will cover one full year, yung transaction po na yan ay mag-e-extend hanggang July next year. So, let us suppose that ngayong year, ito ay July 2020. So, therefore, yung transaction po na yan aabot hanggang July 2021. Now, at the time na magre-report na po kayo o gagawin nyo na po ang inyong pong financial statement, ito po ang inyong pong reporting date, which is December. So, what you need to do is to identify magkano sa inyong transaction ang naging revenue and expenses. So, that will be from July 2020 until December 2020. So, ito po ay magiging it's either revenue or expense. However, ito pong hindi pa nangyayari na mangyayari pa lang sa susunod na taon ay kailangan nyo na pong i-report ng December dahil yun po ang inyo pong reporting date. Now, if that will be the case, itong portion po na to will result to either an asset or a liability depending on the transaction. Okay? So, meron pa pong mga ibang items na kailangan po ng adjustments. But normally, ito pong items ng revenues and expense, tsaka po assets or liabilities. Okay? So, para mas malinaw po, magbibigay po tayo ng mga halimbawa. Okay? Now, para mas mabilis natin siyang maunawaan, gagawa lang tayo ng mga simple problems. Hindi na tayo kukuha sa mga books para hindi na tayo mahirapan. Okay? So, let's say for example, on July 1, 2020, received 12,000 cash for 1 year rent. Okay? So, that will be our transaction on July 1, 2020. Now, if that will cover 1 full year na rent, so ibig sabihin, that will be for July 1, 2020 up until June 30, 2021. Now, dito sa transaction na to, two things may happen. Pwedeng initially, i-record mo siya as income, okay? Or pwede din naman initially, i-record mo siya as unearned income or a liability. Okay? Kasi kailangan mong malaman ng iyong original entry or initial entry para malalaman mo din kung ano nga bang adjusting entry ang gagawin mo sa dulo ng taon. Okay? So, let's say for example, scenario number 1, ang ginawa mo ay ni-record mo siya initially as income. Okay? So, on July 1, ang naging entry mo initially, syempre you receive cash. And then, initially, ni-record mo siya as rent income. Okay? So, rent income. That's 12,000. 12,000. So, yan po ang iyong initial entry. Now, on December, you have to adjust this entry. Why? Because hindi naman talaga lahat ng 12,000 na yan ay income mo at the end of the year. So, paano mo i-adjust yan to reflect kung magkano nga ba ang income mo at magkano pa ang liability mo. Why? Because basically, kalahati dyan, kinita mo na noong 2020. Kalahati dyan, utang mo pa. Kasi, yung magiging renta niya from January 1, 2021 up until June 30, 2021, nabayaran na rin niya noong July 1 pa lang. So, anong magiging adjusting entry natin for this scenario? So, ang iyong adjusting journal entry or AJE on December would be, syempre, kailangan bawasan mo yung rent income. And how will you do that? You debit rent income. For how much? Kalahati. So, 6,000. And a credit to unearned rent income. Kasi itong portion na to, hindi mo pa naman talaga siya na-earn. In fact, utang mo pa yan na babayaran mo or i-render mo or pahayaan mo yung iyong tenant na gamitin ng iyong facility from January 1 until June 30. So, that would be 6,000 pesos as well. Okay? So, that will be our adjusting entry for this scenario. Okay? Now, if you look at your T account will look like this. So, from your initial entry on July of 2020, meron kang 12,000, di ba? Kaya lang, sa dulo ng taon, inadjust mo siya yung December, binawasan mo siya ng 6,000. So, this time, ang talagang income mo lang noong 2020 ay 6,000. So, that means it's already adjusted. And yung iyong unearned rent income as of December of 2020 ay 6,000. Kasi nga kalahati pa yung na-advance niyang bayaran. So that's how adjusting journal entry works. So kung hindi mo gagawin ang iyong adjusting entry, misleading ang iyong financial statement. Why? Kasi lalabas noon 2020 ang naging income mo ay 12,000 when in fact 6,000 lang naman talaga yan. Okay? Ngayon, kung hindi mo gagawin yung ayong adjusting journal entry, lalabas na ikaw ay walang utang. When in fact, meron ka pa naman talagang unearned portion dun sa kanyang binayaran na 6,000. Okay? And that makes adjusting journal entries required at the end of the year. Okay? So, case number 2 or scenario number 2. What if on July 1 of 2020, nirecord mo siya initially as unearned income or liability? So, malamang, ganito ang initial entry mo dyan. So, you debit cash, and then, you credit unearned rent income. So, that's 12,000 and another 12,000. Now, if this is your initial entry, ganito po ang iyong adjusting journal entries sa dulo ng taon. So, kailangan kalahatiin mo naman ng iyong liability. And how will you do that? You debit unearned rent income and credit rent income. How much? 6,000. Okay? So, yan po ang iyong magiging adjusting journal entry. Now, if you look at your T account will look like this. Initially, nag-record ka ng unearned income on July of 2020, 12,000. Again, in the same manner, if you did not make an adjusting journal entry, your financial statements will become misleading. Why? Kasi hindi mo maire-reflect yung reduction ng iyong unearned rent income on December 2020. Kasi in fact, etong 6,000 na to ay kinita mo na. Kaya lang, it is not yet reflected on your initial entry. Kaya nga kailangan mong magawa ng adjusting journal entry para mapalabas mo na at the end of the year, 6,000 na lang ang iyong unearned income and na-earn mo na yung 6,000 at the end of the year. Okay? So, that's how it is being done at the end of the year para ma-reflect mo nga yung iyong mga income and expenses at the same time assets and liabilities. Okay? Kasi nga, initially, hindi yan adjusted. Kaya, i-adjust mo pa yan sa dulo ng taon. Okay? This time, ano naman kaya ang magiging itsura niyan if you are the tenant? Okay? So this time, instead of receiving 12,000 on July 1, 2020, paid 12,000. Okay, sorry. So, 12,000 for 1 year rent. Okay? So, that's our transaction. In the same manner, this time, if you are the one paying for it, it's either ma-record mo yan initially as an expense or pwede rin namang i-record mo yan initially as an asset. So, paano po yan? Let's say, for example, scenario number 1 or case number 1, you record it as an expense initially. So, you debit rent expense, credit cash, 12,000 pesos. Okay, or 12,000. Now, if this is your initial entry as a tenant, your adjusting entry or adjusting journal entry on December would be, you debit prepaid rent and credit rent expense. How much? 6,000 pesos. Okay, so kung mapapansin nyo, halos wala namang ganong kaibahan doon sa naunang pinaliwanag natin. It's just that this time, expense at asset ang pinag-uusapan natin. Okay? So if you look at your T account, it will look like this. So initially, on July of 2020, ni-record mo ang iyong rent expense as 12,000. Again, if you did not make any adjusting journal entry, your financial statements again is now misleading. Why? Because hindi naman talaga 12,000 ang iyong expense. Kaya you need to adjust that at the end of the year. Kailangan mong bawasan ng 6,000 pesos para ang ma-reflect lang talaga na iyong rent expense ay 6,000. Why? Because the other half becomes an asset in the form of prepaid rent at the end of the year. Okay? So, ganun po siya nagwo-work. Now, tingnan naman natin, what if initially ni-record natin siya as an asset? Paano kaya ang mangyayari? Okay? So, ganito naman ang mangyayari kung initially ni-record mo siya as an asset. So, on July 1 of 2020, ang ginawa mo dyan ay prepaid rent. So, basically, pabaliktarin mo lang, prepaid rent and then cash. 12,000. So, at the end of the year, ang iyong adjusting journal entry would be rent expense and credit to prepaid rent. 6,000. O, wag malilito hindi laging kalahati yan So, depende kung anong buwan ka nagbayad at kung hanggang ilan yung iyong binabayaran. So, etong amount nagbabari. So, for simplicity purposes, ginawa ko lang kalahati. Okay? So, that will be your adjusting journal entry to reflect your rent expense at the end of the year and reduce your prepaid rent at the end of the year dahil yung kalahati dyan ay nagamit mo na. And if you look at your T account will look like this. So, initially, you recorded your asset or in the form of prepaid rent, 12,000 on July 2020. Again, if you did not make any adjusting journal entry at the end of the year, your financial statements is misleading. Why? Kasi hindi naman talaga 12,000 ang iyong asset at the end of the year. Why? Because yung kalahati dyan na expense na. So, you have to reduce that by half by crediting 6,000 and this time, it is now adjusted. 6,000 na lang po ang iyong asset in the form of prepaid rent at the end of the year. And, mare-reflect mo na dyan kung magkano nga ba ang naging rent expense mo for 2020 and that is 6,000. It's now adjusted. So, that's how it looks like kung ikaw naman ang tenant. So, basically, these are just some of the examples of adjusting journal entry. So, marami pang pwedeng i-adjust, Pero para hindi tayo masyadong ma-overwhelm sa information, yan na lang muna ang pag-usapan natin. Now, again, reminder lang, napakahalaga na bago ka mag-create ng iyong journal entry, you have to know kung ano nga ba ang iyong initial or original entry. Dahil kung hindi mo titingnan ang iyong initial or original entry, posible kang magkamali sa iyong adjusting journal entry sa dulo ng taon. Okay? And again, kung medyo nahirapan ka dito, dun sa concept na pinag-usapan natin, balikan mo yung aking video about deferrals and accruals concept. Okay? So, bago ko tapusin ang video na to, I hope ma-click mo yung subscribe button dyan sa aking channel at pakihit na rin ang notification bell para lagi kang updated sa aking mga susunod na videos or tutorial about sa accounting. Okay? So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat. This is Cesar Ordonez and thank you for watching.